Russian peacekeepers have been deployed to the Nagorno-Karabakh region to enforce the peace deal struck earlier this week. Protests continued in Armenia and authorities there have arrested opposition leaders. A Russian delegation will travel to Ankara to discuss the details of a joint Russian-Turkish monitoring center. November 12. What you need to know today: the peacefire in Nagorno-Karabakh appeared to hold for a second full day. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said in a press conference Thursday there are no indications that anybody is trying to disrupt the agreement, Russia's TASS news agency reported. A Russian delegation will visit Turkey on Friday to discuss the creation of a joint center for monitoring the truce deal, the Turkish foreign minister said, as reported by AFP. Turkish involvement in the settlement is seen as highly contentious given Yerevan and Ankara's centuries-old bitter rivalry. The two sides have virtually no diplomatic relations and the border between the countries has been closed since 1993. Turkey backed Azerbaijan in the recent conflict and has provided high-tech military equipment to Baku for years, a factor which proved decisive in Azerbaijan's military victory, experts say. There was no explicit mention of Turkey's involvement in the public details of the 9-point ceasefire agreement, which stated only that a peacekeeping center shall be deployed to exercise control over the ceasefire, according to the texts published on the Azerbaijani president's official website and by the Kremlin. Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu said the details about the joint Russian-Turkish center's functions and operations will be discussed Friday, with a delegation coming from Russia, AFP reported. The center will completely control whatever happens on the field, whether or not there are any violations, with the help of drones and other elements, he told a press conference in Baku carried by Turkish broadcasters. But Lavrov said there will be no Turkish peacekeepers present in Karabakh as part of the deal, and said Turkish representatives will only be present in a monitoring center located in Azerbaijani territory, TASS reported. Armenia arrested 10 opposition figures Thursday for organizing illegal violent mass disorder, authorities said. Protests are scheduled to continue Thursday in opposition to the ceasefire deal, following the storming of government buildings in the hours after Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan announced the agreement and handover of most of the disputed territory previously controlled by Armenia. More than 2,000 demonstrators turned out in the center of Yerevan on Wednesday to protest the deal, AFP said. Arayi Harutyunyan, the Armenian-backed president of Nagorno-Karabakh, said Armenia was betrayed by its soldiers, heavily criticizing the commitment of reserve troops who were called up to defend the region, he said in a speech cited by Open Caucasus media. Harutyunyan backed the peace deal and said without it the whole of Nagorno-Karabakh would have fallen into Azerbaijan's hands. According to provisional maps published by various media outlets showing the new situation in the region, Armenian-backed separatists will keep control of the majority of the core Nagorno-Karabakh region, while ceding all the surrounding territory which was previously also under their control. He urged people not to protest against Pashinyan or the settlement and called for civilians who had previously fled the conflict, estimated at more than 60% of the population even before Azerbaijani forces had captured the second biggest city of Shusha and the region's capital Stepanakert was evacuated, to return and help rebuild. With reporting by AFP, Eurasia Net, Open Caucasus Media, TASS and Washington Post. November 12. Analysis Thomas Deval, a longtime expert on the region, argued the deal is a precarious settlement for Armenia. The repercussions will be felt for years to come, he said. Eurasianet's Caucasus editor Joshua Kucera also said the deal leaves as many questions as answers, particularly over the future status of the region and the role of Turkey. Deval said he expects Aliyev to now tone down his aggressive, militaristic rhetoric in an attempt to appear moderate and curry international support for the deal, and Baku. There was little sign of this in his victory speech to the nation earlier this week, when he said Baku had taught Pashinyan a lesson. The Armenian leader had to sign the agreement in a closed place, in a locked-up room, far from the cameras, in a cowardly and treacherous manner. He is not signing it of his own free will. He is signing it under pressure from the Iron Fist, Aliyev said. BBC Moscow correspondent Steve Rosenberg analyzes how the Russian newspapers have reacted to the deal, and their take on the geopolitical rivalry between Moscow and Ankara.